As our journey through the Serengeti reaches its conclusion, we face the sobering reality that this magnificent ecosystem confronts unprecedented challenges. Climate change, human population pressure, and habitat fragmentation threaten to disrupt millions of years of evolutionary refinement that created one of Earth's most complex natural systems. The evidence of environmental change is unmistakable across the Serengeti landscape. Over the past 3 decades, average temperatures have risen by 1.8 to 2.5 degrees Fahrenheit, seemingly modest increases that trigger cascading effects throughout the ecosystem's intricate web of relationships. Rainfall patterns have become increasingly erratic, with traditional wet and dry seasons losing their predictable timing. Extended droughts now stretch longer than historical records indicate, while intense storm events can deliver months' worth of precipitation in devastating floods that erode soil and destroy vegetation. These climatic shifts directly impact the great migration patterns that define the Serengeti ecosystem. Wildebeest populations have declined by approximately 10% in recent years, as changing weather patterns disrupt the traditional timing of grass growth and water availability that guide their ancient routes. The ripple effects extend throughout the ecosystem's food web. Zebra and impala reproductive rates have decreased as nutritional stress increases during extended dry periods. Predator populations face new pressures as prey becomes more scattered and traditional hunting strategies become less effective. Perhaps most concerning, recent studies indicate that 15% of Serengeti grasslands and wetlands have experienced severe degradation. If current trends continue, scientists project the ecosystem could lose over 20% of its grassland area within the next 2 decades, fundamentally altering the landscape's carrying capacity. Human population growth around the Serengeti borders has intensified pressure on the ecosystem's edges. Traditional pastoralist communities find themselves squeezed between expanding agriculture and protected wildlife areas, leading to increased human-wildlife conflicts as animals seek resources outside their traditional ranges. Villages now regularly experience confrontations with elephants and buffalo that venture onto agricultural land seeking food and water during extended dry seasons. These conflicts threaten both human livelihoods and wildlife survival, creating urgent needs for innovative management solutions. Yet, within these challenges lies remarkable evidence of adaptability and conservation success. Governments, international organizations, and local communities have launched comprehensive strategies that demonstrate how coordinated action can reverse decades of environmental degradation. The establishment of migration corridors represents one of conservation's greatest success stories. By 2023, protected corridor areas had expanded by 15%, creating continuous pathways that allow animals to move freely between the Serengeti and Masai Mara without encountering agricultural or settlement barriers. These corridors required unprecedented cooperation between Tanzania and Kenya, demonstrating how wildlife conservation can transcend political boundaries when governments recognize the economic and ecological value of intact ecosystems. Cross-border agreements now ensure that migration routes remain protected regardless of political changes. Grassland restoration projects have achieved remarkable success through scientifically guided rehabilitation efforts. Approximately 10,000 acres of degraded habitat have been restored using native plant species specifically selected for their resilience to changing climate conditions. These restoration efforts go far beyond simple replanting programs. Scientists analyze soil composition, water retention capabilities, and native seed banks to recreate grassland communities that can withstand temperature increases and irregular precipitation, while providing optimal nutrition for herbivore populations. The involvement of local communities in conservation efforts has transformed from a potential obstacle to an essential partnership. More than 5,000 residents have participated in conservation education programs that demonstrate how wildlife protection can enhance rather than limit economic opportunities. Community-based conservation models create direct financial incentives for habitat protection through ecotourism revenue sharing, employment in conservation programs, and compensation for crop damage from wildlife conflicts. These approaches recognize that sustainable conservation requires local support and economic benefit. Technology has revolutionized anti-poaching efforts with remarkable results. Drone surveillance systems, camera traps, and satellite monitoring have reduced poaching incidents by 70% since 2020, allowing wildlife populations to begin recovering from decades of pressure. The elephant conservation success story exemplifies how targeted protection can reverse population declines. Strict enforcement of anti-poaching laws, combined with international cooperation to reduce ivory demand, has allowed elephant populations to grow by 15% since 2020, reaching approximately 6,000 individuals. This recovery demonstrates that conservation investment produces measurable results when strategies address both immediate threats and underlying causes. Education programs that build local appreciation for wildlife, economic incentives that make protection profitable, and law enforcement that creates real consequences for poaching have combined to create a comprehensive protection system. Scientific research continues providing crucial insights that guide adaptive management strategies. GPS collar tracking reveals how animals modify their movement patterns in response to changing environmental conditions, allowing conservationists to anticipate future corridor needs and water source requirements. Habitat connectivity studies have identified critical landscape links that maintain genetic diversity among fragmented populations. Protection of these connection points ensures that isolated animal groups can maintain contact necessary for healthy breeding populations and adaptation to changing conditions. Climate adaptation strategies involve both protecting resilient habitats and assisting species transitions to more suitable areas. Water management projects maintain crucial water sources during extended drought periods, while vegetation management creates favorable conditions for climate-adapted plant communities. Collaborative research between African institutions and international partners has accelerated understanding of ecosystem responses to environmental change. This knowledge sharing enables rapid implementation of successful conservation techniques across multiple protected areas. Economic models demonstrate that ecosystem conservation provides greater long-term value than alternative land uses. Tourism revenue from wildlife viewing generates millions of dollars annually for local communities, while creating employment opportunities that depend on healthy ecosystems. Carbon sequestration services provided by healthy grasslands represent another economic value stream that rewards conservation activities. International carbon credit programs now provide funding for habitat protection and restoration efforts that also support wildlife conservation goals. The integration of traditional ecological knowledge with modern conservation science has proven particularly valuable. Indigenous communities possess detailed understanding of historical environmental patterns and species behaviors that complement scientific research and guide management decisions. Educational programs in schools throughout the region have created a new generation of conservation advocates who understand the connections between ecosystem health and human prosperity. These young leaders will determine the future trajectory of conservation efforts throughout East Africa. International cooperation continues expanding through sister park relationships, research exchanges, and coordinated management strategies that recognize ecosystem processes extending across multiple countries and jurisdictions. Looking toward the future, several trends offer hope for continued conservation success. Renewable energy development reduces dependence on charcoal and firewood that contribute to habitat destruction. Improved agricultural techniques allow higher productivity on existing farmland, reducing pressure for expansion into wildlife areas. Ecotourism infrastructure development provides economic alternatives to resource extraction, while creating incentives for habitat protection. Community conservancies, managed by local groups, have proven particularly successful at balancing conservation goals with development needs. Genetic research reveals the remarkable resilience potential within Serengeti species. Many animals possess genetic diversity that enables adaptation to changing conditions, suggesting that ecosystem conservation efforts may be protecting evolutionary potential, crucial for surviving future environmental changes. The Serengeti's future depends on continued commitment to conservation strategies that balance human needs with ecosystem protection. Success requires maintaining the political will, financial resources, and international cooperation that have produced remarkable results over the past decade. This magnificent ecosystem has survived ice ages, volcanic catastrophes, and countless environmental changes throughout its millions of years of existence. With thoughtful stewardship and global support, it can continue serving as a beacon of hope for conservation efforts worldwide. The Serengeti teaches us that nature and human society need not be in conflict when we recognize our shared dependence on healthy ecosystems. The path forward requires wisdom, patience, and commitment to preserving one of Earth's most extraordinary natural treasures for future generations. As our series concludes, we leave you with this thought. The Serengeti's greatest lesson may be that survival depends not on individual strength alone, but on the intricate relationships that connect all life within the great circle of existence. Thank you for joining us on this remarkable journey through one of Earth's most precious landscapes. The Serengeti awaits your continued support in the crucial work of conservation that will determine its future.